Every life carries within itself the traces of its origins, from roots to the end. As the environment, family, encounters, and early life challenges mark fundamental milestones that influence future choices. Thinking about tomorrow, one naturally wonders, where does Sister Maria Troncatti draw so much apostolic energy, readiness, and practical efficiency from? Saints are not born. They are called to become saints. Everything originates in Corteno, a small town in Lombardy situated between Valtellina and Valcamonica at an altitude of 1,000 meters. In this little town, not far from one another, we find the birthplaces of three people who marked the history not only of the village but of the world beyond the ocean. Camillo Golgi, Nobel Prize winner in medicine, the philosopher and partisan Pietro Chiodi, and Sister Maria Troncatti, daughter of Mary Help of Christians and missionary in the Ecuadorian Amazon. Maria was born on February 16, 1883, to Giacomo and Maria Rodondi, both 25 years old, concrete, simple, and essential people of great faith, who filled their days with prayer and hard work rich in generous sacrifice. On February 17th, braving the harsh alpine winter and half a meter of snow, her parents brought her to the parish church of Santa Maria Assunta, where she was baptized by the parish priest, Don Giovanni Battista Mondini. She also received the name Benvenuta, welcome, perhaps as a sign of the warmth and hospitality she would later inspire around her. Maria was the second of 14 children, only 6 of whom survived. She grew up happily in a large family marked by suffering. Very close to her parents, she learned from her mother to trust in God's providence, often witnessing a simple, spontaneous fiat, let it be done, on her lips during difficult and anxious moments. From this, Maria developed the unwavering faith that would sustain her through the hardships and sufferings of her future mission. When she began attending school, she had the good fortune to be taught by Margherita Bila, who, beyond teaching her reading and writing, became a spiritual guide and prepared her to receive her first communion at just 6 years old. Bila believed Maria was mature enough to understand and reflect on whom she was about to receive. At that time, according to her sister Caterina, communion was not distributed daily, but only 3 times a week. And Maria never failed to attend on those permitted days. She went to Mass every morning. Maria had a playful and cheerful personality. She loved to joke and tell stories. She was determined, joyful, and helpful. She didn't mind work, loved to pray, and assisted the poor and needy. Very close to her father, Giacomo, in sensitivity, he affectionately called her his little earthquake. Some episodes from Maria's early life show how her character began to transform. Around the age of 11, while staying at an alpine hut her father owned, she took the goats out to pasture but lost sight of them when a fog suddenly rolled in. She searched for them but became disoriented in the mist and eventually got lost. As night fell, the entire mountain was shrouded in a cold, silent gray veil. Her father and relatives searched frantically, knowing the dangers of the night and her fearful temperament. At dawn, they found her asleep by a bush. When they asked if she had been afraid, she replied, "No, I still had the grace of Sunday's communion in my heart, and I wasn't afraid. The Lord protected me." In 1893, since there was no 5th grade class in the village, teacher Margherita Bila prepared her privately for the final exam and introduced her to the Salesian Bulletin. Through its pages, Maria came to know Don Bosco and discovered the existence of Salesian missionaries who left their homeland to bring the gospel to the ends of the earth. She was deeply fascinated and felt a strong calling from the peoples who had not yet heard of Jesus. In 1895, a new parish priest, Monsignor Celerino Testini, arrived in town and became Maria's spiritual director. He founded the Association of the Daughters of Mary, a group of young women committed to living a fully Christian life. Maria joined with her usual enthusiasm and lively spirit. She began to feel the desire to consecrate herself to God. However, unlike her older sister Caterina, who accepted the priest's suggestion to become an Ursuline and remain close to home, Maria dreamed of becoming a missionary nun, among the savages or the lepers, as she called them then. Her dream remained locked away because it clashed with her father's disapproval. In 1904, once she was of legal age, Maria secretly wrote to Don Rua, the successor of Don Bosco, asking to be accepted among the Daughters of Mary Help of Christians to become a missionary. Don Rua forwarded her request to Mother Caterina Daguerro, who instructed the superior of the nearby Tirano community to meet Maria. The institute was ready to welcome her, but Maria had to overcome her father's opposition. On October 15, 1905, the day of her departure arrived. With determination, she left her home. Her father, overcome with emotion, fainted while saying goodbye. Despite the deep pain of the separation, Maria did not look back. With the help of her sister Caterina and an uncle, she reached Nizza Monferrato on October 16th to begin the journey that would lead her to become a Daughter of Mary Help of Christians. She never explicitly spoke of how difficult that departure was, but her letters to her family suggest the depth of her love and sacrifice. She once wrote, "Even if I lived 100 years, it would never be true to say that I could forget you, because love always burns brightly in my heart." At Nizza Monferrato, Maria was welcomed into a large, organized boarding school. Having grown up in the mountains and fresh air, she felt disoriented and lost. It required a tremendous effort of adaptation, but the strong and authentic faith she had breathed in Corteno and the dream of being a missionary helped her face every challenge. She prayed, "Lord, I want to be yours forever. Oh Jesus, I left behind all that was dearest to me to come and serve you, to sanctify my soul. Yes, everything abandoned. Only you remain for me now. But you are enough. Give me much love, much spirit of sacrifice, humility, and self-denial, so that I may be an instrument of good for so many poor souls."